Welcome back to another episode of Dialogue Tree. This is season 2, episode 14. My name is Daniel Padilla, and as always, I am joined by my wonderful friend, the delicious Matthew Martin Kamer Peterson.
Good evening.
And today we have a very special guest in Spencer, Lenny Pepperidge, aka Lenny the Pep Biddle.
Hey, and I'm a special guest as well. Madeline Sour Patch Dust Watermelon White Claw Doyle, which is a nickname that could probably use some explaining.
Yeah, I'd love to know where that comes
Usually the guest responds when their name is said.
from. That too, yeah.
Well, the explaining is that I put Sour Patch Dust in my White Claw just now and got really excited when it started making a fizzing sound, and then it foamed everywhere.
Is it good at least?
I think I got it all back in the foam, to be honest.
It just all fell out.
Yeah, it was just sour foam that I was panic drinking.
How did you separate the dust from the actual gummies?
I ate them.
Just the bottom of the bag, right?
We get a really small broom from like a doll set, and then we painstakingly sweep every single one.
Every single gummy?
Yeah, and this is how it worked out. We were planning this for weeks.
And how do the Sour Patch gummies taste without the dust on them? It must be pretty.
They're pretty patched.
Probably tastes like the Sour Patch breakfast cereal.
there's a
Yeah.
That's a thing.
I saw that at the store this
Sour
week.
Patch,
Damn.
Pop-Tarts, I think.
Oh,
At least Pop-Tarts are kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of like a cereal.
man,
I just
we live in a country where health insurance costs so much money, and our companies are out there making Sour Patch breakfast
Oh,
cereal.
it was Sour Patch Chips Ahoy.
Oh, God.
Sour Patch Chips Ahoy?
Yeah.
Has
Are you making that up?
Oh, actually,
No,
you know
I
what?
may have made the Pop-Tart up, but not the Chips Ahoy.
That is crossover fiction that has a background. Chips Ahoy has had Sour Patch cookies for years.
Wow. That's
Why?
weird.
Also, Oreo has had so
And
much fish.
I see them every time I go to the store, Daniel.
Sour Patch Chips Ahoy? That's not a thing, dude. No, that's not a thing, dude.
Every time I go to a grocery store, I see them and I think, who the fuck would eat that?
I refuse to acknowledge that I live in a universe where Sour Patch Chips Ahoy exists. Dude.
Yeah, I honestly thought Spencer was just going to say we live in a country. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Right.
It's probably one of those really weird regional snacks that pop up like in two states, you know?
It's just capitalism, man.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I meant the specific.
But who maintains that though? Like, isn't the idea of capitalism to like sell you shit that like you actually consume? Like, otherwise, why would you even?
You'd be surprised what people buy, dude.
I've seen someone put away an entire package of Swedish Fish Oreos.
Daniel,
In
Oh,
one.
come on, man.
have you ever visited Georgia or North Carolina?
I have visited Georgia, yeah. Plenty of times actually, yeah.
Just picture Georgia and you'll know your answer.
Okay, but I'm sure that's offensive to all the Georgians listening to this shit.
Hey,
shout out to Robbie Franklin.
That's
I-
right, Robbie.
I'm friends with a Georgian.
I'm pretty sure people are more percentage Arizona iced tea than water in Georgia.
Have you guys ever seen the show Atlanta? It's pretty good, man.
No,
It's pretty
I
good.
haven't heard of it actually.
It's with that dude, the rapper dude, fucking
Ice-T.
Childish Gambino is his name.
Oh, okay.
What's his name?
Oh,
I have
You just said Childish Gambino, didn't you?
Yeah, but he has a real name. What is his
Yeah.
name? I forget.
Oh.
Glonald Dover or something?
Yeah, that's
Long-
right. That's right.
long
Danny
Glover.
Glover, but it's not Danny Glover.
Right. No, the show's pretty good. Yeah, it's I don't know. I liked it.
I've wanted to watch that for years.
I've seen about 6 episodes.
Just like I wanted to try Sour Patch Chips Ahoy for years.
Right.
You should do both.
Before we forget about Robbie Franklin, a friend of the show and notorious libertarian, I would like to
Yeah.
mention Owen outed him as having his sexual awakening due to Lugia in the Pokemon Lugia movie.
What was that about?
I don't know. You should ask Robbie about it, but I think
don't
it's
even
just
know
kind
what
of
that-
creepy and weird.
I don't think
Okay.
you want to hear Robbie's take on that movie.
Well, I guess next time Robbie's on the show, he's gonna have to do some explaining.
There's a picture of Lugia in Robbie.
I mean, I know who
reacting to
Lugia
it.
is.
Okay, well, you said what is that, and I wasn't sure what you meant. It.
No, I just mean like what, like how do we reach that conclusion? Oh,
Well, he
anyway.
probably said it.
Okay.
Who the heck is this? Oh, God.
Yo, Lugia's got fucking hands, dude.
Wait, this is not at all what I was expecting.
What did you?
Anything but this guy.
The whole generation of Crystal, right? Pokemon Crystal.
Yeah.
Which I've
It's
never
good,
played.
it's good.
I own a cartridge, but the battery's all fucked up.
Gen 2 is honestly the
Unfortunately.
best generation.
I've heard. Yeah, I've heard.
Lugia could like full fist a basketball. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like palm grip a basketball.
Yeah.
I don't like that word, but yeah, I know what you're
you
saying.
could have phrased it better.
He has the same hands as the bird people in Zelda.
I meant
What was that?
He has the same hands as the bird people in Zelda.
The
Oh,
Rito.
right.
They're kind of cool.
Spencer.
Mhm.
I know what you're gonna ask.
Oh, here it comes.
All right. How deep into your ass can you like touch or scratch or manhandle before you feel like you had to go wash your hands, dude?
Now, Daniel, I don't want to get meta, but you already know my answer.
I don't think we reached a conclusion.
I remember you said something. I don't really remember what you said, to be honest.
So this is a
though.
conversation that we've already had, but it was really entertaining. So I figured we could like bring back up in the podcast. Though I will say that there's a lot more to be said, right? Because we cut the conversation short precisely because we thought, or at least I thought anyway. I don't know if Matthew agreed, but I thought it would be a good question to ask on the show. So
I thought the same thing, but also I think we were getting scored on in Rocket League, and I was like, all right, we gotta stop getting scored on.
right,
It's
right.
a good
That's
bet
also
that we were
fair.
getting scored on.
Yeah.
The answer I gave last time, and I think I stick by this, but I'm open to being convinced.
Hold on, though. Wait, how did you? Because there was some conversation that happened before you reached that answer. So like, walk us through your process of reaching that answer.
My reasoning: ass cheeks are probably not that dirty unless you're going for like a jog or
Or
something.
you've been kayaking.
You've been kayaking.
Oh my god, dude! Maddie's right about that.
Yeah.
Kayaks, because they're so low. This is a non sequitur. But
Yeah.
if you are kayaking, any butt contact is hand wash worthy butt contact.
Because all the water gets in the kayak, and so therefore your ass gets dirty as well. Yeah,
And it's always
okay.
like swampy,
Right.
stagnant water,
Right.
full of like microbes and roots and like dead fish.
Yeah.
and like tadpoles and shit.
Did I
and
talk
they're-
about the
they're-
kayaks on the podcast before? My neighbors had.
I don't
I don't
think
know.
so, dude.
Yeah,
I
my
don't-
neighbors were selling kayak, or they had 2 kayaks in front of their house, and it just said like both kayaks $200 or something. But they just left them, and like they left the hole face up for like a year because no one wanted them, and it would like rain, and then like mosquitoes would like lay eggs.
Oh,
You know, like it was just this festering pond outside their house, and it was absolutely disgusting.
fuck that shit, dude.
I'm sure no
Fuck.
one wanted to buy the kayaks after like 2 weeks, anyways.
Yeah, fuck. Mosquitoes. Like allowing a spot for mosquitoes to like breed
Yeah,
and
it's
grow.
gross.
and-
That's rude.
Fuck
That's
that
a
shit.
business.
Yeah, that's unethical. Some neighbors could have got like West Nile virus.
We have a bunch of mosquito transmitted virus diseases here in Honduras, man. Holy shit.
I guess that's true. That's not really what I wasn't worried. I was just grossed out.
You
No,
know
I mean,
what-
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Do you know what happened to the kayaks?
They're gone. I assume they just tossed them because who would buy that?
They just like changed the sign to free one day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. If you sat in that kayak, I would expect any hand washing necessary.
Yeah, well, getting back to your point,
It wasn't a very
So
good
your
one.
butt cheeks are clean. Ish.
Unless you're kayaking.
So
Or running or walking.
unless you like literally smear shit on the toilet seat, toilet
Yeah.
seats are surprisingly sanitary because it's just like butt.
so you think that only your butt cheeks are clean and anything else?
Yeah, like
But what point on the butt cheek does it become?
Well, Spencer has a special
Unfair.
phrase.
I've coined a phrase that's been picked up by the Encyclopedia Britannica called crack involvement. And I think once you start to get to that like liminal zone,
When the slope begins.
yeah, and
that,
for me-
that
for me-
area that gets no sunlight ever.
Well, depends on where you live.
Right.
But for me, my butt crack is hairier than my butt cheek.
Well, it
So-
should be, dude.
Well, yeah, but there are some fucking like gorilla men out there. You know what I mean? Like we watched Mamma Mia the other day, which was a distressing experience for a lot
Because
of
it has
reasons.
Pierce Brosnan without a shirt and he's hairy as fuck.
How did you know? Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
I'm a big fan of 007 and I know Pierce Brosnan. So
Dude, that man like rolled in a carpet before shooting or something.
Have you never seen Steve Carell without a shirt.
Oh, right, yeah, that too.
Oh, he gets
That
waxed
too.
in 40-Year-Old Virgin, doesn't
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, so hair. Where are you going?
I'm guessing Pierce Brosnan's cheeks are as hairy as the crack.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be an experience?
Pierce Brosnan's.
So you think Pierce Brosnan should wash his hands no matter what part of his
No.
body he touches?
But what I am saying is that for me, the line between crack and cheek is very well spelled out, because once I get to the forest, I've reached
Shit, man.
the crevice. It's like Purgatory Chasm.
I
Right.
guess.
Whereas Pierce Brosnan, I think
wait,
there's a lot
no.
more locations where it can be like, oh, I don't know if that was
That's
cheek. Or,
a horrible analogy. Because the forest ends at the chasm.
What situation would you even encounter this in, though? Because you're probably in the bathroom if you took your pants off. So
What?
you just wash your hands anyways.
Matthew, I am shocked. You've never scratched your ass?
I would just have my pants on, though.
You scratch your ass over your pants?
Yeah, dude.
That can't
100%?
be that can't be as satisfying as when you as like fingernail to skin, dude.
I don't know. I'm not gross.
You really want to scrape that?
No,
out.
dude. I mean, look, I will say that I think 98% of the time I scrape over pants.
Right.
But sometimes there's just an itch that's so deep
Or when you're wearing jeans.
and so tormenting. You just gotta, unball that fist and then slide that thing in there. And then in that 2%, it is so vital to know whether to wash or not.
How do you tell? Because I know people who scratch their butt cracks and then sniff it.
Why would you sniff it?
Well,
I
that's-
know we did it in class.
that-
too. It was awful.
That is a whole different level of like
It
psychopathia.
was a
Do we want to? Is this like the Germany football team's coach?
Serial.
Whatever his name.
You gay low. You.
Oh, Joachim. Joachim Low.
He does that.
He's been documented multiple times sniffing his hands after either scratching his groin
on
or like his
international
behind.
television.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
Have you
know
not?
how you don't think twice about that.
And he's
Well,
like the leader of the team.
Have you
He's
not
been
seen
away-
those memes, dude? That's like a chain of people. You know what I mean? Like him scratching his balls, and then like a lot of people like fucking what's the word? Like handshaking until like someone else handshakes it and like smells it and like dies or whatever.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Like usually the origin, like the first frame of these memes is this dude's.
That's fucking
It is.
crazy,
That's
dude.
true. It's his balls. That's a very.
I
good
wonder if
point.
anyone has talked to him about it.
I mean,
Look, 2014, Germany won the World Cup while this man scratched his balls and sniffed.
Right.
He probably
Like-
doesn't have a publicist.
Like literally, like an entire like quarter of the world's population knows that
Right.
he does this.
Oh.
Like,
Do you,
he's
do you think like an actual thing that like publicists have to deal with their clients is like, hey, like make sure you don't like scratch your balls in public?
or like pick your nose and eat it.
like contractually, yeah. Holy shit, man.
Contractually, like you're gonna get fined if you scratch your ass.
Or like they'll drop like sponsorships and shit. like
Right. I don't know
Dude,
if
you-
anyone tries that deep into the
that.
like covering every base possible. You just have to hope the person like can control themselves at some point.
All right, man. So I'm about to send some memes to the group chat.
Okay.
You guys
Owen
can
sent
keep
a
talking.
picture of a dude clearly being penetrated by a horse in a French textbook.
Right.
But the only word I know here is horse because I don't speak French,
Oh,
so I can't
yeah.
read you the text.
Maddie
It says
is
tomorrow
is
never dies.
basically
Just kidding.
fluent.
I don't think it says tomorrow never
No,
dies. I'll tell you that.
Hold up a Family Feud thing that said that.
Oh, here's Owen. Oh, he sent it right here. I just didn't look.
Yeah, no, it's this.
Oh God. The man
They have the
seems.
same leg bones as you.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to show the anatomy, but the dude is clearly just bent over at the horse's crotch.
Also, this is not like a picture of like a real horse and like a real human, right? This is like a diagram.
No!
It's a drawing.
So to get back, like I don't know where my answer was to begin with, right, to this question.
Yeah.
I don't know what conclusions I've reached, but like hearing you talk about your experiences and like the thought process behind reaching behind the conclusion that you reached, man, I would just say that I would not want to like know that I've shaken your hand after you've scratched your even like your cheeks. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Do you follow what I'm saying?
Well, first of all, Daniel, I want to say thank you for giving me a platform to talk about my experiences.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Second of all, fuck you for believing that.
This is like a litmus test for like whether or not we should shake hands with you. Ask
For
this
believe
question.
for believing what?
That I'm not worth shaking hands with just because I might have scratched my cheek in the past.
No, I'm just saying that I hope
Power.
that's not a thing that's happened with you or anyone actually. Like I wouldn't want to shake Maddie's hand if I knew that she had just scratched her ass cheek, you know?
I actually
Well,
don't have an ass.
then I
It's a
suppose
non-issue.
you just don't let it be known.
Yeah, but like that now I'm just like upset
Well,
knowing
now
that like
Daniel's
I'm
just like, anxious.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
you're thinking back on every single handshake
every single time I've
or like
shaken anyone's
or
hand.
hug that we've had, or every time that we've exchanged like GameCube discs.
Semen.
Actually,
Come on,
I-
dude. What the hell?
I don't know. It seemed like the right time to say it.
I've had a kid intentionally shake his hand to introduce himself to me just because he had just touched his balls.
Was that the YMCA?
What a
It
prank! No, it was in high school.
was in high school.
So
I
you
bet
just
that
witness
kid-
this person scratch their balls right before they try to shake your hand?
No, he like set it up and then introduced himself.
Oh.
What a weird prank.
Balls.
I just touched my nuts.
I was like, wow, you know what? This is my time to stop by the bathroom and wash my hands for 28 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Well, Daniel, what do you think is the point where you should wash your hands?
I don't know. I think I just reached a new conclusion, seeing that I wouldn't want to shake anyone's hands who just had scratched their ass at any region. I
Just
feel like,
don't shake hands.
yeah, I feel like I would just wash them now, regardless of where my ass I touched. You know,
Maybe we can kill shaking hands as a greeting after COVID.
I was gonna say it doesn't. It's looking like it's not gonna be an issue
Yeah,
for a
and-
while.
Yeah.
We can exchange semen instead as a greeting.
I don't like that.
Oh,
I know
Yeah,
that I go the classic elbow bump.
I was gonna say I think I prefer that shit.
probably more sanitary.
That's a little weird to start a job interview with, though.
Yeah.
It's kind of
What's
like, hey,
up?
bro.
What's up, CEO?
We have to do the foot bump at school, which is cute.
Oh yeah.
Because there's nothing funnier than watching two children try and balance on one foot while hitting each other's feet with the other.
And talking
They're not
about
good at it.
Minecraft.
I remember Nick Kirchner developed a great handshake where you see the other person coming away, like you haven't planned this. You see them like walking down the street, and then as you approach, you high five, and as soon as your hands touch, you sprint away as fast as possible until you can't see each other anymore, and then continue about your business.
Matthew, where do you stand on this issue, man? I don't think you've given any input today or the day we were talking about.
Oh,
it
like
while
I
we were
said,
watching
I think as I'm just a pragmatist, where it doesn't affect me because I'll just wash my hands because I'm in the bathroom anyways.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're right. You did say
Mm.
that. You're right.
So I
guess-
think I would try to err on the side of washing my hands. Like if it did
That's-
happen to me, I would just be like, yeah, I should wash my hands unless I'm absolutely certain.
You know,
It's
it
just hard
seems
to wash your hands anyways.
Like, don't touch your face too. Like, if you haven't washed your
Right.
hands.
it seems mighty inconvenient to like wait until you're in a bathroom to scratch your ass. Though I will say that.
My ass doesn't get like itchy, honestly, very often. I'll just scratch it through my pants and I'll be fine.
Well, again, Matthew, this is about the 2%.
I don't know. I don't think it's ever happened to me, honestly. But like I said, if I did, I would just like hope there's the sink and go wash my hands.
Matt, I want you to set up a
Yes,
like GoPro live stream of your ass. So we
You
can-
could just set up and
Oh.
go for a live stream of my of me because you'd see my hands.
Yeah, but that requires your whole body. I don't know. GoPros have a small field of view.
Oh, really? I've never used one.
I don't
Here's
know.
the real question. I
yes.
already forgot it. What the hell just
Oh,
happened?
damn.
God
All right,
damn
well,
it.
What?
thanks for
Yeah.
coming out, everyone. It was a great episode. We
Yeah.
forgot the real
Let's
question.
wrap the shit up.
Wow, what the
This
hell
is
just
like
happened to me?
this is like fucking Hitchhiker's Guide.
Right.
Yeah, it got a little, yeah.
Right.
What just happened? Okay, never mind. I don't have any
It
questions.
must have been
Okay.
that Sour Patch dust in the,
Oh, here's my question. Because I was thinking about like, could you just use hand sanitizer after you scratched?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I would
Yeah,
be totally
definitely.
fine with that. Yeah.
I have all the time. Is that if your hands are like genuinely dirty, like they have dirt on them. Like I ran cross country, my hands were dirty. When you use hand sanitizer, the dirt doesn't leave.
Yeah, it just kind of bunches up in like weird
Right.
goo. Yeah.
Is it clean dirt now?
ass.
Well, there should be no germs. Or
I was
at least
gonna
less
say, it's
germs,
at
right.
It's at least disinfected. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like
Right.
you'll get the dirt and it'll be like inconvenient to clean when you get it off the chair or whatever.
Because I'd have like because like I would be out on the fields and in porta potties all day, and I'd be using a lot of hand sanitizer, and my hands would
Yeah.
be like dirty, but
Yeah.
I'd be like they're clean.
I
mean,
don't
I
know
feel
if
like-
clean is the right word, but sanitary might be close
So
enough.
you-
But so then, if you shake someone's hands who just have had ass bits smeared
Or
around.
if you scratch your ass and then use hand sanitizer.
But what I'm saying is that the hand sanitizer won't remove the ass bits from like your fingernails. It'll
Well,
just
So just
sanitize it.
disinfect. So like,
well, you
does it
shouldn't.
have-
You shouldn't touch feces. You can touch dirt.
But what if the feces is sanitized?
I'm not sure you can because it's just entirely waste. It's entirely bad.
But it's not entirely.
But it's
by
also
eye.
clean now.
But it's like a biohazard. Dirt is just I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say like one thing is like straight up dirt that you pick up like while you're out there running for like hours. Like another thing is like you shouldn't be picking like like whenever you scratch your skin, like skin bits are bound to like fall off. This is natural.
True.
Wow.
So you just have like disinfected butt particles under your nails. They just wash off at the nearest convenient.
All I say is like I'd rather someone like fucking use hand sanitizer and like I would rather you have hand sanitizer than not have anything else at all.
Of course.
But I would still want to wash them as soon as I could as well.
Yeah.
But Daniel, I think it's totally circumstantial because you can't tell me that if you're like sitting around drinking a beer, playing Mega Man 10, and you scratch your bare ass, you're gonna run to the bathroom in case you shake someone's hand.
That's true. And you've touched your beer and your controller and your ass at this point.
Right.
Well,
That's
I mean,
true.
if I had to shake someone's hand, I would. If I know that I'm just sitting by myself in the fucking house, then I probably wouldn't.
So what if, let's say,
What if someone walks in, they're like, "Hey,
Yeah.
Daniel, my man."
You also have two hands.
will you admit
Right.
to scratching your ass if someone asks you for a handshake? Are you gonna be like, no?
Sorry, man, I just scratched my ass.
Yeah.
But that is an interesting point because it means that left-handed people they're better off
That's
because you scratch with your dominant hand.
That's why the lefties are overrepresented in business meetings because they don't have to say sorry.
I
just
may have
scratched my
scratched my
ass.
ass because it's like I scratch my ass with my left hand. You don't need to worry. Nice to meet you.
Right.
Should this be expected etiquette? Like like just as well, like maybe not now with the pandemic thing, but like
Yeah.
beforehand, should it have been like warn people? Sorry, man, I just like scratched my ass, so like. You know what I mean?
Maybe-
To indicate
I don't know. You
that,
don't
like-
have to, you could just be like, "Oh, sorry, my hand is dirty," or whatever. Be like, you don't have to say.
Well,
No, there's
but
no way.
Matthew, if you're in like a clean cubicle and
I
you
guess
say
if you're in
that,
like Starbucks, yeah.
they're gonna be like, okay.
You know,
So that's either balls, cheek, or booty.
someone walked up to you and went to like introduce themselves and shake your hand. You're not going to say, "I can't shake hands." You with your dirty little butt shook that hand out of
Mm,
politeness.
right. You just had to ride the wave.
You could just like stick your hand in like a potted plant and be like, "Yeah, sorry."
Or
Yeah, like can
fixing
you
the
imagine
plant.
like someone like that they've spent the last like 6 hours in the same place like a cubicle and they're like, "My hand's dirty." Like, what have you been touching?
yeah.
Honestly, your pants probably are dirty just from like typing on the keyboard all day and stuff.
Well, yeah, but that's a weird thing to like be worried about.
No,
I guess
it's a weird thing for you to worry about, but it's kind of weird that we don't think about our hands
Yeah.
getting dirty over the day.
yes, it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, that is true.
There's
Yeah.
only a few
Sorry,
trends you can say.
I
Like,
can't shake my hands. I've been touching doorknobs.
farmers, plumbers, and mechanics can say that.
Yeah, they
Right.
have
And-
cubicles.
Elementary school teachers. I cannot tell you how many times I had actual poop on my clothes.
Kids are
Right.
I remember you.
Like I'd be like, I would hug you, but I actually had poop on me.
And that I would like to be notified of.
Right.
Yeah, but then that's not your poop. It's not as embarrassing. Like if I like,
Sorry.
There's like kind of
I've got-
Right. But I think it's even worse though, kind of. I don't know. Maybe not worse, but it's the same for sure.
Oh, it's worse for both parties. You're like, I have someone else's shit on me.
Well, that's
Right.
better than I've got my shit on me.
Especially on like the not your pants. On the
I don't know if
exterior.
it's better, man.
If you walked out of like your classroom and someone was like, "Oh my God, Maddie, it's been so long," and you
I
said,
shit myself.
"Sorry, I'm covered in my own shit."
You know what? I actually went
No, when
to
you phrase it like that.
my high school was clearly cursed, but another high school memory that I have is that a kid actually shit himself and then went to school in his pants,
God
Oh,
damn.
nice.
among other substances.
In his
Right.
pants?
Now his shirt and his pants. You know, use your shirt to clean up.
Among
Wear it to
other
school the next day.
substances, as in
Damn kid, man.
cocaine,
Nope.
ejaculate.
Yep.
He
Oh,
jizzed and
what the
shit his
hell?
pants and then went
I don't
to
think it was on
school.
the same day.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
That's
Well, that's
done.
fine then.
All I'm saying, dude, is that like if Maddie were to be like if Maddie were to come to me and say like, "Sorry, I have someone else's shit on my hands," I wouldn't think at the moment. I wouldn't be like, oh, well, that's bad, but like at least it's not her own shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, you'd be
It
like,
could
oh
be
man,
worse.
go deal with it. I'm sorry.
But
you're
also,
right.
Daniel,
Or otherwise, like if she came to me and she said, "Sorry, I have my own shit on my hands," I wouldn't be like, "Oh, this is worse than if she had someone else's shit on her hands." You know
Yeah,
what I
either
mean?
way,
It's definitely
I
worse
do
that the
not.
person specified.
Well, yeah, but I
wrong.
wouldn't think of it at the spot. I would just think
Oh.
both of them were equally as bad on the moment.
No
At the moment, you
way.
know?
Well, if Maddie worked in an elementary school like resource room and said, "I've got my own shit on my hands,"
Yeah,
like she's 23
Working with 5-year-olds.
and she's like neurotypical. Like she can wipe her own ass.
yeah. I think Daniel just means like you'd just be like, go wash your hands. You wouldn't like think
Yeah.
of this in the moment. You'd just be like, okay,
Well,
cool. Let's not shake hands or whatever.
the second she goes
Right.
to wash her hands, you'd be like, "Wait a
Like
minute."
at the moment,
Yeah,
regardless
maybe.
of what exactly, yeah, regardless of what circumstances I'm actually presented with, at the moment, I would think that they're both pretty bad, and I would just not want to deal with it at all. And like the
Yeah.
other
Oh,
person
no,
should just
man.
go clean up.
Well, I mean, like if it's someone else's shit, you've just been around either a very elderly person, a severely disabled person, or a child, a little kid.
Right.
Because your own poop,
Well, you
Well,
hope.
you shouldn't. I mean, if someone has their own poop, I'm assuming they've got a situation on their hands.
Anyways, we must have something to talk about for the next 25 minutes besides this.
Matthew, you've been playing Cyber Shadow, haven't you?
I have, of course, dude. I'm not some
What do
sort
you
of
think?
asshole.
What have you thought?
I think
about
it's
it?
really good, dude.
Yeah, right.
Did you finish it? I'm not sure what. If you
No,
said
not yet. I'm like in stage 7, I think, starting stage
okay,
7.
you're definitely ahead of me.
Yeah, I haven't played in a few days because I was finishing up Mario 64, but I think it's excellent, man. Like if we talked about this. I think it could do with a little bit more polish. Like there are certainly some like little tiny little questionable design things. Nothing like game breaking by any means. Just like other games kind of do the same thing but a little better. So you just like why did they not do it in the way that other games do it better? You know?
Yeah, it reminds me of Curse of the Moon because it's just like basically a remake of an NES game, but they used all the nice new graphics,
Right.
like
Right.
parallax scrolling and stuff that you'd never get in an NES game.
Right. And like the range of colors too, like it's a lot more expensive as well.
And
Right.
honestly, we were complaining about the one move, but honestly, even though it's jank, I think it's cool because it like gives you a double jump, even though I don't think that's the intent. But you can kind of use it to cheese stuff, you know?
Yeah, even the animation gives you a little bit of air or hang time as well. Yeah, like the pogo jump, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the animation is weird, but it can also be a little useful too. Yeah.
I pretty much knew I liked the game from the first boss because the first boss, like you can get behind him and he keeps shooting forward until like he finishes his attack pattern and he's just not hitting you and you can wail on him. And I did this, and then in the cutscene, he like complained that I was a backstabber and that I had
No shit.
no honor.
I don't remember any of this actually, to be honest with you.
Oh, he looks like Tony Stark.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Just thought that was funny to acknowledge that.
Do you think it accounts for it properly? Like if you bother to kill him from the front?
It probably just detects like the last hit that hit him.
Right.
But I didn't. I mean, maybe I'll go back and check. I assume I'll play through it again because there's so much stuff that's gated off.
Right.
So yeah, I'll probably play it again at some point when I finish it, unless it's really awful in the end.
Yeah, I was counting on going back through like the stages too with all the new powers and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's worth the $20, I think.
And if I would imagine it would go on sale rather frequently because it was on sale for pre-orders like right before it was released, right? And I feel like that's usually, in my experience at least, that's indicative that like it will go like on actual sale like pretty soon, you know?
Yeah, that's the only real value I feel like you can get out of a pre-order. But even then, I'm like hesitant to ever commit to pre-ordering a game. You know what I mean?
Especially with fucking Nintendo, which won't allow any kind of refunds at all, right?
Right. Yeah. Usually the pre-order is just like a skin or something
Yeah, right.
completely awful.
Or like a new map for multiplayer, whatever the fuck. Yeah. No, I guess Cyber Shadow is the new Yacht Club's game published game, and it's pretty good. Yeah. But the reason I bring it up is because I was thinking because so of course this game is trying to emulate like the classic action platformers from like the NES era, and like something that characterized a lot of these platformers is knockback.
Yeah.
And I was reading and watching some of the reviews for this game in particular, and like I remember at least one or two of them talking about how knockback they were talking about knockback as if it was some kind of like design flaw that shouldn't be a thing anymore. And like I think that's I thought this was interesting and like an interesting topic to explore. I don't know what you guys' experiences is with knockback, and if you have like any input on this.
I just really like that you can turn it off in Curse of the Moon if you don't like it, but the game still you can still play the game with it if you want it. So I don't think there's anything really wrong with just letting people customize their difficulty. Like you can beat Celeste with infinite jumps if you're really bad, and it's like, yeah, you beat the game. You beat it at the level that you wanted to play it at, and the game isn't going to shit on you for it or anything.
Right. Spencer?
Well, I haven't played Castlevania or anything, and I know that's kind of the notorious example of that. Well, in an absence of that experience, it makes sense to have knockback if you're going to have invincibility frames, because you need to move. Like the player character still should be punished for being hit, and they shouldn't be allowed to attack like immediately after, right?
So you can otherwise run.
You can abuse it or just like run through challenges.
You can just tank it with invisibility frames, yeah.
Right. So maybe that's something that's more like relevant in stuff like Castlevania, where you have like a health bar, or Mega Man. But like Mario, where you have like 2 hits max, like fuck it, don't put knockback on that, because your goal is just to get through the level, being hit like less than twice. So you're still gonna have a hard time. But at the same time, it's a real bitch when like a grunt level asshole just like throws you off a cliff.
I think that's what comes into play, right? Like I feel like as long as the game is kind of like designed around the fucking knockback, I think that's one thing, right? Like if a game has knockback and you just like keep dying because of the knockback, because there's like a million bottomless pits like everywhere, and then like yeah, you're just making this like artificially difficult. Like why does your game have a life bar and whatever if the game is just played with
I do think Cyber Shadow though, first of all, the invincibility is really short, so you can get comboed into a pit if you get knocked back into another enemy and you keep getting knocked back and you really can't react sometimes, which does suck.
Right.
But also the attack range is not like a whip and you only get one projectile and you need like mana to use it. Or I guess it's a ninja game, like ki, chi, whatever, energy. It's not mana, but it's like a resource.
Yeah.
So you don't have like good range to hit enemies across the pit. You have to like time a melee slash as you're landing on them to avoid just getting killed instantly, which is kind of tricky and a little unfair sometimes.
I mean, well, maybe, but to be perfectly honest, I feel like Cyber Shadow is the game with which I've had the least amount of trouble with knockback. If I'm being honest, at least so far in my experience, anyway. Like I remember Mega Man 11 has that stage where you just like where there's like a bunch of like fucking those moles that throw and like there's like moles throwing pickaxes at you from like every direction and angle possible and whatever, and you're just like floating on this little like these tiny ass platform. Like that's pretty hard. And even both Curse of the Moons, I've had a really hard time with a knockback in both of those.
Yeah, I think it's really frustrating when you're on like a platforming segment and you're it may be an auto scroller or just a bunch of small platforms and there's like enemies flying at you. Like at the beginning of the Vile stage in Mega Man X, we got to climb up that wall or whatever.
Right.
Hellishly annoying.
Right. Yeah, and so I think that's what mostly I guess caught my attention, because I'm like in 7 stages into this game and I haven't. Again, I do agree with you that like having the to turn it off, that's cool, right? I think that's super cool and should be implemented in more games for sure. I guess what I meant to say is, and at least in the context of Cyber Shadow, like I don't think it's a particularly dated fucking, you know what I mean? Like I would imagine something like lives and continues and shit that like straight up brings you to like the beginning of a stage every time to be like I would consider that to be like antiquated and like old school and old fashioned and like annoying in that sense. But like not, I'm still to experience knockback in any game, whether it be like actually from the 80s or like remake or like a whatever. Where I still had to experience knockback in any game that makes me feel like I hate this shit and I really wish it wouldn't be any games anymore.
Have you played Spelunky?
Oh
no, I
hate it, Spelunky, dude.
Oh shit.
It's vicious.
Well, I wouldn't, because Spelunky is also like a one-hit death, right?
Sometimes. There's like spikes, right?
You get a certain amount of health, but
oh, you do. Okay. I just have no idea.
3 hearts or whatever, that kind of stuff. I don't mind it in Spelunky because the game, you're guaranteed to die.
The game really breaks you.
It's so it's challenging and it's mean, and that's just like the actual style of the game. And it's so quick to like re-enter and try again that like when you just get wombo comboed like off a cliff by two Yetis or whatever, then it's more just funny than it is frustrating.
Right.
At least for me. I don't think Matt agrees with that.
I also don't like that Spelunky has dark levels, and it just makes me not want to play the game anymore. Because I'm like, I don't want to.
What do you mean?
Like
dark as in you can't see
be
shit.
Dark, and maybe there's like a way that you can remedy this, Spencer. I don't know.
Oh,
yes, there's a torch you can carry with you, but that means that like if you ever try to attack, you throw your torch.
Right, you don't need to get a weapon.
Yeah, and then if you don't angle yourself properly, your torch can just be fucking gone. And
right.
You have like a little halo around you of light, but it's really not enough because bats and rocks.
Honestly, in dark levels, sometimes I just go balls to the wall and run until I find the door.
Yeah.
Die.
You just gotta home sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's funny to watch other people die in Spelunky by getting hit into like a 7 enemy chain, and then it just lands you on the spikes, and you were in hit stun the whole time, and it's like, okay,
that would piss me off. Not gonna lie.
Spelunky, the joy of Spelunky is learning how to speedrun and then just playing with someone who is as bad or worse than you, because then when they kill you accidentally, you're just like, well, that happened. And also, when you play with someone, when you die, it's not the end all be all.
Well, and I think Maddie's right that the joy of Spelunky is like getting 40 minutes in and then dying and losing all your progress, but then getting better at the first couple of stages to the point that you can open up like shortcuts. It's sort of like a fundamental roguelike design, right? Like the original Spelunky was, I think, one of the first ones that really popularized that sort of stuff. That like Enter the Gungeon.
Yeah. Gungeon's kind of fucked though. Like you kind of can't use the shortcuts too much because it doesn't give you any guns or anything. I don't know. Spelunky is like that where you don't get any items or anything.
Yes, that's true, but items are easy enough to find, or if you're good enough at collecting money, they're pretty affordable pretty quick, at least for the ones that you really like make use of. And you always start with, I think, 4 bombs and 4 ropes. So like
that's your 2-player, and then it's 2 bombs and 2 ropes.
Yeah. And you always have a whip.
Oh, nice.
That's like the default weapon. So like you're outfitted enough that if you know what you're doing, you can get through pretty much anything that the game does try to throw at you, just by like experience.
Yeah, I don't know. It just never really grabbed me. I do like the way, like the resource management strategy of like not just necessarily like giving you a choice, like a physical binary choice of items, but it's like you deciding if you want to use a bomb or whatever, or save it. I think that's more interesting than the game just being like choose power up A or B.
Right. Yeah, I love that.
But I just never got into it. I don't know.
I think it is more fun with a partner.
Has it always been multiplayer? I didn't know that. I thought only the second one was. Or just someone else playing beside you and like switching off or something. You mean?
Well, it's a little awkward because there's like actually 3 Spelunky games, and one of them is like the original one from like online.
Yeah,
it's like an Isaac situation.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So I guess like the first one is Spelunky HD or whatever on the Xbox, and that's 2-player as well.
Oh,
it's not like split screen. It's like if you played the Mario games where you have like 4 people at once and you can
and the same frame. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and you always end up murdering each other.
Yeah,
that's
right.
Probably the best part of the Mario game.
I mean, the reason that I got into Spelunky and have the love for habits that I have today is that my brother and his friends used to get really high and play Spelunky together, and I would join them. And like it doesn't matter, you know.
Yeah, it sounds like a great time.
And Maddie was like way better at Spelunky for months than I was.
Yeah, and like my brother and his friends always thought that I was like god tier, but really it was that I was like not bad at it.
It's just I mean, I guess this is the bane of video game discussion, but it is like Dark Souls in a way where like each enemy has a specific pattern, and like once you get, it's also like Mega Man, I guess, where like you get used to each enemy's pattern to the point where it will fuck you up the first 10 times you do it because it's just.
But you learn, yeah,
and then you get to the point where every enemy, is easy, and every situation is like able to be reasoned out of. But Knockback is still a bitch in that game. It just happens to be a very, very funny bitch.
Right.
If there was like Knockback in Donkey Kong Country, though, I would lose my fucking mind.
Yeah, that'd be a bitch.
Yeah, I guess that depends.
But I think you made a good point, though, Daniel, that it's not like Knockback is universally a bad thing. It's just what is the game that it's in, and what is the level design, what is your move set, and what is the enemy's design. Because if you can like double jump out of knockback or like wall jump out of knockback,
right,
then you can end up in like interesting situations unintentionally, and still get
which you can
out
still
of it.
get out, like make decisions and still make it out of.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking
wall jump and stuff in Cyber Shadow. I was no longer ever dying from the knockback almost ever because I could save myself, you know.
Right, and I'm also thinking whatever the Castlevania game is, Dracula X or whatever.
Oh, Rondo of Blood.
Yeah, I've seen that the last boss in that game, or at least one of the a boss, is just a massive like boss, like shooting shit at you from like every possible angle, and you are just standing like on a bunch of like platforms that are like maybe like in half an inch wider than your character sprite is, right? And that game has knockback.
It's awful, yeah.
Yeah, so that is, I feel like that's poor design because you're in so, you know, like that's what the stage is, right? So like any hit, you're basically dead because of knockback. So I guess like it's just bullshit in that.
No, I can see how someone would just immediately think that though, because Cyber Shadow is not like ripping off, but it's incredibly derivative of like Ninja Turtles and Ninja Gaiden and all this NES stuff that just. And I think in those games, knockback just kind of was there to be there. Like Ninja Turtles isn't very good. I don't think
it was just there to make the game frustratingly hard, so you couldn't beat it and kept coming back to it.
Exactly. So I could see how people would just immediately default to hating it because they've never played a game where it's like in any way thought out.
Right. I think that's fair. Yeah, I think you're right.
Well, I don't think knockback is only to frustrate though, because I do.
No, but those games that Cyber Shadow is very like evocative of, it was pretty much, I think.
Right. Yeah, I would agree with that. Like something like Dracula X, right? I feel like knockback in that particular context of the last Dracula fight, I feel like that is just there to like ruin your day, you know?
Right?
Straight up.
And that was how you sold NES games, was make them like 4 hours long, but take like 60 hours to beat. So kids would just keep grinding them and buy Nintendo Power and whatever.
Right.
Well, but I also think about like Sonic or something where
there is an enemy in there, yeah,
or a trap. It totally kills your momentum and like your forward motion, which is the most satisfying part of that game.
Yeah.
So when you can get through a whole stage without having to slow down due to something like knockback, then it's like you've reached peak, right? So if you just get iframes and can keep moving, you're not punished when it comes to like your speed through the level,
right?
You know? So in a game where you are punished for that, it feels a lot better to get through it without being slowed down.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah,
but I don't know about Cyber Shadow. Is it like that speedy? Does it emphasize like that kind of like style?
No, it reminds me of Castlevania, kind of.
Yeah, it's pretty meticulous, right? It's kind of like the same thing. You have like a bunch of like bullets flying at you and shit like that.
And like there's flying enemies. Like, so there's these dudes who don't die in one hit, but if you like sweet spot them, they'll die in one hit because they have like an oil tank or whatever, and they're on like a platform that's as wide as them. So you just kind of like aim it and be precise with the jump and hit them as you land.
Right. But it's definitely not. I feel like even the missing momentum, you're just like jumping around and shit like that, bouncing off of the. I feel like it's not even like that.
Is that the messenger? I think emphasizes traversal over anything because the whole gimmick is that when you attack something in midair, it gives you your jump back.
Right. Yeah,
that's the only way you can get a double jump. So that's all about maintaining momentum and distance and forward motion and like air, kind of like Hollow Knight, where if you juggle dudes from above, you can just jump everywhere.
Yeah. But I don't know, like in Mirror's Edge, you don't really ever die except by being stupid. Like the failure condition is just not having fun by going fast. Like that's the reward itself, just to go fast and not get stopped. You know,
what a game.
I hate to cut this conversation short, but Matthew, how are you doing on time?
Yeah, we could talk for a few more minutes, but I'm going to head out soon.
I have 7 minutes of battery life left.
Okay, well, we'll definitely start wrapping it up then.
All right, Matthew, what have you learned today, dog?
Honestly, I learned about this meme because I had seen this actually before of the dude like passing his stank on to the queen and she dies. But I didn't know it was the coach of Germany. It just I thought it was just some dude. You know?
Yeah, no, dude. Holy shit.
That's crazy that he did that.
That's a good thing to learn, man. That's a good thing to learn. Fucking Spencer and Madeline, what have you learned today?
I fucking learned that Sour Patch and carbonated drinks are devastating together, similar to baking soda and vinegar. And when I set up my kids' volcano for their 5th grade science experiment in 20 years or whatever, I'm going to use White Claw. And
that's way cheaper, yeah.
Yeah.
Madeline?
What did I learn? I think I learned. I mean, I did not know. I don't even remember the name of the term.
Knockback.
Oh,
yeah, hell yeah.
So I learned about that.
Nice.
Daniel.
I think I learned about, what was it, Sour Patch Oreos? No, Sour Patch Chips Ahoy. Is that what we were talking about? I still don't believe those are real, by the way, but I guess I learned that they are. Man. Yeah.
I think you should go get some next time you're at the store, Daniel.
I don't think those are distributed here, man.
We can only hope to live away from them.
Right. Yeah, right. Yeah, don't forget to tune in next week when Matthew and I are going to be vlogging our expedition to remove the elephant's foot.
Oh, yeah. Things covered in asbestos, so
right.
It'd be kind of hard to get around.
Yeah, thank you all for your Patreon donations. That's how we were afford our gear and our suit and everything.
Our asbestos removal gear. Yeah, right. Thank you all.
Right. Spencer, you want to sing greetings to anyone? Madeline?
Don't fall over.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Words to live by.
Hope Owen's doing okay. I mean, this is a week later, but he almost died yesterday. He was almost in a car accident.
Did it fall over?
No, it was just so snowy and the big storm was coming through.
Everyone out there is listening. If you end up being near Daniel and you scratch your ass, make sure you wash your hand because he will know.
Or at least tell him.
Or at least, or tell me, or at least use sanitizing gel or whatever.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. That's our PSA for the night.
All right. Peace.
Don't fall over.
Don't fall over.